regarding the technical or operational basis for our 42 articles. This evening is not intended to be a forum to debate the articles, but rather offers the town meeting members an opportunity to ask for any technical questions that will ensure town meeting members are well prepared and informed. By way of example, zoning articles are not easy, and taking time to understand such matters in advance only benefits each member and the body as a whole. Before we get underway, a sincere thanks to Mark Serra from Shrewsbury Media Connection and the entire SMC team for their assistance in making the program possible. Additionally, I'd like to thank the town manager, Kevin Mizikar, and his professional staff at Town Hall for their work related to offering thorough briefs for each article available to town meeting members in advance of the annual town meeting. Please note that we will have COVID-19 precautions as outlined in the package in place for Saturday morning. To those town meeting members participating, thank you for joining us this evening. As many of you know, our elected town meeting is comprised of 240 elected members, and this year we have a quorum of 100 members. Congratulations to those recently elected to town meeting. Town meeting members should have received a green book with the title of Report for the Recommendations of the Finance Committee. In addition to this document, you will have received a variety of other supporting and explanatory materials, including a thorough presentation from the school department. It's in your interest to review this material in advance, obviously, and to bring it along with you. A town meeting warrant is annually set by the Board of Selectmen with input from our town manager and the various boards and commissions that serve our town so well, whether they be appointed or elected. Additionally, this annual town meeting will have 3 petition articles for consideration and action by town meeting. If you plan to offer an amendment, we would greatly appreciate that as well in advance as possible. You can send it to the town manager, the town clerk, and myself at jfkane2015@gmail.com. Please note that this Saturday we will seek to ensure that we all enjoy an open and complete debate while seeking to provide town meeting members with a path to efficient consideration and action of articles. As moderator, I will be asking the town meeting members to adopt a special procedural order that will allow us to discuss and vote a number of articles in groups rather than individually. This is the same approach used successfully at the annual town meeting last year, held under the tent in the front of the Oak Middle School. But tonight we'll walk through each article, and you will note the explanation provided in the Finance Committee's report. I found each to be on point and on target. I've asked Mr. Mizikar to feel free to jump in at any point in which he wishes to do so. Please note the article is often more broadly worded given the time of drafting such language, while the written motion in your report is more tailored in its language. By way of example, Articles 12, 14, 16, and 17 include the word borrow, which would require a 2/3 vote, yet the motion does not include that important word, and therefore a simple majority is all that is needed for approval. Isn't that correct, Mr. Mizikar?
Yes, Mr. Moderator.
During town meeting, any and all desires to be recognized or for any question or anything whatsoever should be directed to me as the moderator, and then we'll route that question or comment to the appropriate individual. For this evening, if there are questions, please take advantage of any electronic means or wave your hand, and we'll do the best to catch you early on. Having said that, let's get underway with Article 1, which is to receive the report of the Beal Building Committee. Obviously, Mr. LeBeau, as chairman, will be prepared to walk through and provide folks with an update. Article 2 is dealing with any fund transfers from 2021. If you have any questions, just say something. Otherwise, I'm just going to stroll right through this. Article 3 has to do with a special purpose override stabilization account, which is a 2/3 vote to establish that account. Article 4 is a simple majority to put monies in that account. Article 5 is the operating budget for fiscal year 2022. My plan is to follow the long-standing tradition of simply strolling from, in our case, we'll start at 8 with any questions, move to 9, and just go right through each of the 3 sections that are on each of the 3 pages. If there are any comments or questions, I'm sure the manager and the professional team will be ready to answer them. We'll work our way through page 19, Council on Aging, Page 21 into the debt. Page 22, we have the interest, short-term debt total. And then on page 23, we will go to the Shrewsbury Public Schools. Please don't forget that the superintendent and his team have provided an extremely thorough fiscal year 2022 budget request booklet on their own.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
if I could, just a procedural matter at this point. Since the size of the meeting is growing, anyone that enters will be muted, even on their phone. So if I could just remind folks, *6 to unmute themselves, because you'll automatically be muted when you join.
Thank you, Kevin. So then on page 24, we'll go through and complete the operating budget. If there have been any changes, we will ask the manager to have someone ready to go to track those changes. And then I would look for a restatement of the original motion with the updated number, and we'll go through and vote that. Article 6 is to accept monies being transferred from Selco. Article 7 is to accept money again from the Municipal Light Department in lieu of taxes. Article 8 is to apply certain monies to from free cash to the tax rate. Article 9 is to raise a sum for medical expenses of retired and disabled police officers and firefighters. And then Article 10, we start into the various appropriations for the municipal residential solid waste. Article 11, move to the from the sewer surplus. Article 12, from the sewer surplus account into the inflow and infiltration fund. We then go to Article 13. You'll see the plenty of detail offered along these ways. Article 13, we talk about the money to be raised, the sum of $2.8 million from department receipts from water. Article 14, and for new members, I would also note that there's a further explanatory section right above the recommendation of the Finance Committee. Article 14, we move into the appropriation for the capital improvement budget for water services. Article 15, we have department receipts for the operating budget for the storm water services. Article 16, we walk through again, and it's a stormwater receipts and the capital improvement budget for that effort. Article 17 is the omnibus capital budget. Again, you'll note the word borrow in the article, but the motion does not include that, so we'll have a simple majority. Article 18 is transferring money from free cash to the general stabilization account. Article 19, we have the funding of revolving accounts for the Council on Aging Transportation and the Donahue Rowing Center. Article 20, we have the department receipts for cable, television, public education, etc. Article 21, we have funding, I think this is the Chapter 90 monies for road improvements. Any questions along the way? Article 22, department transfers for the sale of cemetery lots. Article 23, the note to fund bills incurred in the previous years. 23, my recollection is we have none, and we will seek this to be defeated. Article 24 is to rescind the borrowing, as is the case on Article 25. And then Article 26 is to accept a section of a clause of Massachusetts law to provide a $500 annual tax exemption for residential property owners in Shrewsbury that's occupied by a qualified person as being blind. Article 27 is a personnel bylaw and a series of amendments to that. Article 28, we walk through, and this is an effort to modernize, make more flexible the calling of the annual town meeting, and to allow the moderator to seek to have a consent agenda for items considered not particularly controversial given the history of town meeting. Article 28 is to create the Community Preservation Committee. This was voted at our last election. in November, I believe it was. And 29 is that, excuse me. 30, we will create an affordable housing trust, and that this is all clearly spelled out for everyone. Article 31, we will cover zoning. This is very exciting. So with 31 and 32 and 33, we will require 2/3 votes. If Bernie's here, I think it's been very helpful that you've used exhibits in explaining to people the variety of changes. And we will have on file the reports from the planning board indicating they held the requisite public hearings regarding each of these three, and they voted unanimously in support. There aren't any questions on 31, 32, and 33. We will move to Article 34, which is a petition article. Wait a second, I lost my cheat sheet. So Article 34 is having to do with the climate and ecological emergency. Article 35 has to do with what I will describe as term limits. And Article 36 is a matter of drinking water and the addition of fluoride.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes,
in the past, I know we've, with the
Brian, just for the sake of folks who don't know you, please identify yourself and what precinct.
Brian Moss, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 8. In the past, with the citizens petitions, we've had a chance to take a minute or two just to talk about the process and not the merits, but the process. Is what I have a minute or two to just talk about the process with this.
What's the process, Brian, that you got your 10 voters? Is that what you're talking about?
No, so a lot of people talk about explaining the process where, for example, this resolution is for the town meeting to go on record, and sometimes in the past people have said, well, what does that even do, right? So I just wanted to mention that in the past, this has come up twice before for different reasons, and in the past both the Board of Selectmen / Water Commissioners and the Board of Health have said that town meeting voted it in 1952 to actually start the fluoridation program in Shrewsbury, and then it would be town meeting, they could vote it out. So that's why I wanted to just make that clarification.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the three petitioners have each been offered up to 10 minutes to present their argument to town meeting, and then we will move through a debate and move on. These are simple majorities, as I recall. So we will have that free and open debate along the way. Okay, Article 37 we just did, I believe. 38 is it's a question of authorizing Selco to receive a gift in the article, and when you move to the motion, it's to authorize Selco to receive by gift a small slice of land along Centec Boulevard from the Worcester Development Business Corporation. Article 39, we authorize the Board of Selectmen to, oh God, Kevin, what's this thing about? This doesn't.
That one is the recognition of mobile homes as affordable housing within the Shrewsbury stock.
I may have confused you, because I believe it's a Hartford Turnpike, the design for Route 20, and the transfer up to $50,000 from free cash. No, that was, I booted that one. I apologize. That was poorly kicked to you. This has to do with the rebuilding of Route 20, Lake Street, and associated areas. Excuse me, I lost.
It does, yep, I'm sorry, yep.
Article 40 is from free cash to counseling and educational services at SYFS. And Article 41 is to transfer $25,000 from free cash to the Lake Quinsigamon Commission to fund the expenses associated with the management. And then Article 42 is to approve the individuals who will serve as the trustees of the Wright and Harlow Charitable Trust. And that completes our run through of the town meeting warrant. Are there any questions?
I see Mr. Fitzgerald has his hand up, Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Fitzgerald, gentleman from Precinct 6. Maybe he did not. Henry?
He needs to unmute.
Henry, unmute. Henry? We can't hear you. Unmute, please. Henry,
That help?
there you go. Yes, that would be helpful.
I apologize. I
Fine.
couldn't navigate my way around this. With this, assuming with everything getting approved at town meeting, this is obviously a significant increase year over year. And I'd like to hear from the town manager at some point, maybe during the annual town meeting, what subsequent years are going to look like and what the impact of this is going to mean on future years.
Thank you, Henry. Further comments or questions? All right, well, thank you all. If there aren't any, you all enjoy your evening.
I see there's a question
Oh.
for Mr. Budenhagen.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jean, I don't see you. I apologize. Unmute, Jean. Mr.
Mr. Budenhagen, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Hi, Jean. Good evening.
Good. In reference to Article 17 on the capital budget, under highway, you've got replace truck 16, 1997 cat loader. Is it a truck or a loader? If it's a truck, it's very expensive.
That's got to be a loader.
We use trucks for all heavy equipment in our designation, but it is actually a front-end loader.
Okay. The next question is directly under it. Installation of vehicle lifts. Is that just the labor cost or the cost including the lift?
Unfortunately, Mr. Budenhagen, it's just the labor. We've been out to bid 3 times for this. We secured the lifts 2 years ago at town meeting in 2019, but have yet to be able to install them because we didn't have the budget.
Could I go back into the budget section and just
Certainly.
ask a question for consistency? As you go down through the departments.
Where are
usually-
you though, Gene? Give us an example of a
Well, I'll
page.
give you an example on page 11. You've got
Okay,
town accountant, you've got a
Yep.
salary account. First one is usually department head salary. Okay. You look at some of the other accounts and they're all bunched in salary one. Is there any reason we can't be consistent showing what the actual salary is of department heads going through all the different departments? We do it with a lot of them and then we just bunch them with others.
Mr. Moderator, I will note that salaries 1 includes department heads and assistants, assistant department head level positions. So you'll note it may look jumbled, but for instance, on page 15, the fire department includes the fire chief and the deputy fire chief. Within the town manager's office, that would be the town manager and assistant town managers as proposed.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Certainly. Do we have any more hands up? Kristen, you seem to have a better eye than I, because I'm not seeing any hands.
I saw
Yeah,
Mr. Molina had his hand up.
Okay, Jason Molina, please.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I will, I'm going to comment on 2. One was that earlier today, I submit on behalf of Paul Schwab, who's also on the call, and I think it raised his hand as well, but we'll take the attention where we can. Article 29 for Community Preservation Committee, there is an amendment that is being proposed. Just wanted to make sure if it was good in good order and received to you, Mr. Moderator.
I received it this afternoon. I've yet had the ability or time to connect with town council. As soon as I do so, I will respond back to your email.
Okay. So it is our hope that that is printed and made available to town meeting members for their review, as so that everyone has a copy of it, and this way it's easily digestible in debate.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Further to that, if I may, I have a question relative to Article 30 about mobile homes.
Sure. Go right
So
ahead.
in reviewing the recording that the town manager's office had put out about this article, there was a commentary about that this had been attempted in the past. I wasn't sure from that what was attempted in the past. Can you just give some background, please?
Sure. The same bylaw has come before, the same proposal, I should say, has come before town meeting in the past, certainly the past 12 years that I've been involved. I think 2 or 3 different times, and has been sent to the State House, and no action has been taken. We're not alone in sending this proposal to the State House. A variety of communities do it on a regular basis.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes, go right ahead, Kristen.
there may be a bit of confusion. Article 30 is related to the Affordable Housing
Oh,
Trust.
sorry about that.
Article 37 is the article that Mr. Moderator just spoke about, related to the mobile homes counting towards our affordable housing count.
Sorry for introducing confusion there, but thank you, Ms. Loss.
Great. Did I see, did you mention that Paul Schwab's hand is up?
Yes, it does appear to be up.
Okay, Mr. Schwab.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. It was in reference to what Mr. Molina had raised already, so I think you've answered our question.
Great. Any other, Kristen, I'm not seeing them, so any other hands up?
No other hands up. Just as a reminder, if anyone's on the phone and has something they'd like to ask, you must push *6. So we'll wait a few seconds. And again, if you're using the Google Meets, on the bottom, there's a raise hand function if you'd like to use that as well.
Okay, well, we'll see you all Saturday morning then at 8:30.
I actually see another raised hand, Mr. Moderator.
Oh, Dale has left the meeting. Okay, with the
Martin
individual.
Vardy.
Hi, my name is Martone Verratti. I'm just a citizen. Thank you all for kind of hosting this open meeting. I appreciate you coming together. I guess my question is this an opportunity to comment from the citizens or anything like that on any of the articles, or is this just a question?
No, the intention of this evening is not to debate the articles, but just walk through any of the technical questions that you've heard from others. Obviously, if you have a comment or question, feel free to call the manager's office or any elected official in town and share that with them.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, if we don't have anybody else, Kristen, then thank you all very much. We'll see you there hopefully by 8:15 on Saturday so that we can get underway at 8:30. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Good evening.